Hello there and welcome to Heart Explained Therapy. Now, why are people overweight? In the year 2021, when we know so much information about food and nutritional meals and everything's available now where you can see the calories that you're taking, why are we still overweight? It's quite simple that you must burn more calories than you consume. Everybody knows that. So if you're overweight, if you're not in the best physical shape and condition, mentally and physically, you can do something about it. But we tend not to. Now, why would that be? Unfortunately, it's to do with the mind. What's going on is you're in a fog and cloud of dust. The dust is depression, mental health, fears, and you have also been addicted to a certain way of living. That is by distracting yourself mentally with crap TV, Netflix, shite social media, and you're pushed down with this theory that everybody needs to look a certain way when you don't do that naturally, so it makes you depressed, and then you order takeaways, and the sugar and the salt goes into your body, and your body has got a stomach that expands like this and says, I need to keep filling the same food into this hole. So basically you're committing suicide very slowly. Now that sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it, if you've just got a poor diet and you don't do any exercise. I'm not killing myself, I'm just enjoying myself. Well, you'll be dead when you're 50. You'll have heart problems, you'll have high cholesterol, you'll have diabetes, you'll have all these problems, and you won't be seeing your grandchildren. This is the massive effect of your poor mental health and physical health. This is what happens. Now you can say that your life has led you to this unconsciously. Now it's a wake-up call, because guess what? There's no excuse for it. There is no excuse that one of the biggest killers in humanity is heart failure. A heart that can last, now that we've seen, almost 100 years, is actually stopping at the age of 45, 50 because you've abused that. Now we're used to saying that someone who's an alcoholic or a drug addict is bad. We think that is bad. But I see very large people in these fast food restaurants, and we don't class that as any sort of bad addiction. You're addicted to salt and sugar and shit to override your need to feel something else, a love, a comfortability that you're never going to find at the end of an empty McDonald's bag. Now, the great news is you can actually still have a diet which contains a bit of shit. You can do this. I mean, at the moment I'm reading a book that's called 21 Days to Transform Your Body, and it's saying that you should go back to sort of primal instincts, the caveman diet, which would be meat and vegetables, but it does contain a treat for you. A treat for you is you can have one sugary item per day if you are physically and mentally in a good place. It means if you're not mentally and physically in a good place, you shouldn't have 6 sugary items a day. You shouldn't have that can of Red Bull or that can of full fat Coke. And I think it's frustrating, because that means the NHS have to look after you. That means that most of you don't work because it's classed as a disability now. Actually, far larger obese people are actually classed as disabled, and they're given cars now. And this is funds taken away from children that are being abused physically. Like, you're abusing yourself, you're self-harming, and the prolonged effects of that self-harm, or that you're you're killing your own heart. So it's time to have a wake-up call. Now, it's very difficult to get your ass to the gym. It's very difficult to get your ass motivated to get up early and do a little workout before you go to work. And you probably got less chance doing it when you get home because you're fed up, bored, tired, and you just want to watch Netflix. But what I say to you is take away social media, the amount of time that, and social media, I mean the amount of time you spend on your phone and the amount of time you watch a TV. I'd say for the average person, that's 10 hours a day. Easily, 10 hours a day. Now you can think that, no, it's not 10 hours a day, but check that little thing on your phone that says how long you're on your phone for. And I would say that the average would be 5 to 6 hours. If it's worse than that, my God, it can't be worse than that. The TV haven't got this app, but you know how much you watch TV. You might get up and watch TV, or you might go, get in from the house and you're watching it till you fall asleep at 12 o'clock. Take those hours into consideration, and you're telling me that you can't fit in a 20-minute exercise plan, a 20-minute diet plan where you prepare your food and get sorted. Of course you can. And you're stuck, and I know why you're stuck. I've been in that place. I've been the man with man boobs. I've been the man who's completely depressed and sad and toxic and abusing myself and also you're unconscious of it. You're just thinking that I remember thinking that I was actually quite content and happy, and sometimes you get a new relationship, you're going out for more meals, you're eating together, because that's the only thing to do in this world is go for a bloody meal, have a bloody takeaway. It's like it's the only nice thing that humans have learnt to do. I mean, we've just had Christmas and it's just pigging out as much shit as you can and drinking as much shit as you can, and it's really backwards thinking. So, and this might sound like really depressing, but you carry on being overweight, passing that down to your children. I see children on the streets now from 10 to 15 that are absolutely huge. That's child abuse. That's not their fault. They've been given a diet. The parents come in behind them, and then you see where it's come from. Massive plates of food being given to children. They do not need this. You can actually, and part of this book, say some really good stuff that I kind of agree with. Go back to the caveman. What would the caveman do? Now, the book doesn't even mention this, but one part of the diet that I enjoy, I fast for one day, 10 hours a day. I'll do a fasting, even if it's every other day, or sometimes I'm in the mood to do it 3 or 4 days in a row. And what you find is you get more energy than you ever had from this shit food. And what you see then is that food makes you tired. The wrong food can make you actually tired. Can you believe that? So there's stuff out there to learn, but you've got to get rid of this fog. You've got to understand that, first of all, accept you're obese, accept you're overweight, accept you don't look right, accept you've got this projection that you should want to look a certain way, right? Now, this is possible and plausible if you take away every fear that's standing in your way. I can't go to the gym because of this, I can't go. And all these are just, you can't be arsed. You like salt and sugar. Your body, your veins, your cells love salt and sugar now because you've had it for 10 years, 15, 20 years of your life. And that's okay as long as your family are okay with you dropping down dead at the age of 50. And if you don't die because of medication, you're on 10 tablets a day that keeps you alive, which sounds a little bit horrible and harsh, but it's true. This is what happens. Then you'll live for another 10 years in and out of hospitals, never playing with your grandchildren, never being able to run and walk, and just wanting to do what you always do, sit down on your arse and do nothing. And this is just, you know that scene from WALL-E, the Disney film, where then all humans, because the earth is ruined, they've gone up to space and they're in these spaceships and they're all absolutely obese, just constantly watching TV. That, I think, is what we're like now. That's all I see now. the modern day drive-through. I can imagine a world in the future where we do our shopping through drive-throughs. I mean, that sort of takes place now where you deliver it, but I mean, everything you can think of. There will be a time when we don't get up off that sofa and we just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just making me feel sick. And I don't do a good exercise routine. I do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes on the night, and I have a good healthy diet. A healthy in the sense as I know not to take in too much shit, and if I have, I'll have a break from it. But lots of room for chocolate, lots of room for sweets. It's called moderation. It's so simple, yet everybody's just, well, they're taking the piss. They're taking the piss and they need waking up.